Look, I said I've been on my creep mode. This shit hella easy, I got cheat codes.
Hey, Chelsea.
Hi. Good. How are you?
Thank you for joining us today.
I am so blessed and honored to be here and sharing with you all today on this segment, Women in Cannabis.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Josie. I go by Jo in the cannabis community. I am the CEO and founder of Cannablis Jo Consulting here in Florida. I do consulting and coaching with plant medicine and integrate that with science and spirituality and give guidance for people that are interested in knowing more about plant medicine, medical cannabis, and how to integrate that in your everyday life. So mindful consumption.
Nice. That's so important. Yeah. Especially nowadays, with so many stigmas surrounding medical marijuana and cannabis, I feel like it's really important to go into it well informed.
Correct. Yeah. Having all that information, and this is about bringing awareness, breaking stigmas, and educating and letting others know what medical cannabis truly does for the patients in the state of Florida.
So can you tell us a little bit about your first experience with cannabis?
My first experience, wow, I was in high school. It was not a good experience. I will share that because I didn't know what to expect. I was looking at it from a recreational standpoint, like everybody was having fun, they were laughing, and I was just curious and I tried it. And I remember sitting in a corner for like 2 to 3 hours and everybody sounded like Charlie Brown to me. So it was not a good experience, you know. I had no idea. I was not looking for it in a medicinal way again. It was just, you know, I was just trying to have fun and everybody was having fun. So that was my mindset at that time, my 17-year-old self.
So with that being your first experience, what led you to now be in cannabis consulting?
Yeah, so fast forward, right? Like really fast forward. I'm in my mid-30s. My mom gets diagnosed with cancer for the first time. That was exactly 8 years ago. She was diagnosed with uterine cancer and it was stage 3. So at that point, in my mind, I was like, there has to be more ways to treat your body other than chemo and radiation. What other things can she do? We need to heal her body. And so I started looking into all of these videos and I didn't type anything about cannabis. I just put natural ways to heal cancer symptoms and cancer. And all these videos started coming up, and one of them that stood out to me was a gentleman called Rick Simpson, who created Rick Simpson oil. And he was creating the oil and he used it on himself. He was a cannabis patient himself. And so that right there made that light bulb go off for me. And I was like, wow, like all this time I was having fun with it, but not seeing it in a medicinal way until my mom's illness urged that. So that's how I got into the cannabis space. I worked for the very first dispensary in Florida, which was a blessing. It was new to the state. It was new to everyone. So we were all learning at the same time. So I was exposed to a lot. I saw a lot of people from different walks of life, different seasons in their life, coming in to get their medicine and using cannabis as medicine and sharing those testimonies. So when they started sharing the testimonies and I visually saw these transformations in each individual, I started seeing cannabis. I reintroduced it in a whole different mindset, with a whole different mindset. I saw cannabis as medicine for the first time.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. So I became a caregiver at first. I wasn't even a patient myself. I was a caregiver for my mom, and I came into this healing her, to heal her, find healing for her, and she received her ultimate healing on September 22nd, in 2021. But it allowed me to start doing the inner work for myself and be more present as a a mom of four, and to be more present every day and to be able to process things that I experienced as a child and the reason for why I use cannabis as medicine.
You said you're also a mom?
I'm a mom of four.
Okay.
Yeah.
Busy mom for running a business.
Yes.
On a mission to make an impact.
Yes.
I feel like us crossing paths was a blessing. I feel like we're gonna impact so many women. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's a beautiful thing. It's great to share our whys and our experiences with cannabis as medicine. You know, because we are the majority of the cannabis users are women, and in the industry right now, and the cannabis plant itself is female. So, I mean, come on. It all makes sense.
so how can medical marijuana benefit women's health?
Wow, it can benefit in so many ways. Let me clarify first, I'm not a physician, I'm not a doctor, I'm a cannabis consultant and coach. I am a patient as well here in the state of Florida, and I am an advocate for plant medicine. It helps in so many ways. I know for myself and many patients suffering from ailments like epilepsy, endometriosis, anxiety, CPTSD, juggling being a parent and having your own business and also doing other things on your everyday life. You can be present, you can be aware, you can do all these things. It's just having that guidance and that right education on how to use it mindfully and intentionally so that you can function every day and you're not over consuming as well.
That's so important. So who is eligible for a medical marijuana card?
In the state of Florida, you have to be 18 years of age and older. You have to be a resident in the state of Florida. That makes the process easier. There are out of state, like seasonal residents, and seasonal residents also qualify to apply for a card. And then there are, of course, many different medical conditions, some of them being PTSD, epilepsy, MS, cancer, glaucoma, Crohn's disease. There are so many different ailments that cannabis as medicine works very well for. There are different treatments that you can create, and what I love about cannabis is that you can tailor it and customize it to fit your everyday life. You know, there's many ways to consume cannabis, and you don't have to consume it also to receive medicinal benefits from it.
So what are the steps for getting a medical card?
The steps for getting a medical card is having a valid Florida state ID. So it cannot be expired, it cannot be suspended. You have to find a qualifying physician. You can find the qualifying physician on the MMU registry. You can just Google that, it'll come right up. It's on the Florida Department of Health website as well. There is a list of all of the active and qualified doctors in the whole state of Florida. And that way you can find one closest to you. They will get your evaluation going when you go in. That will be something that you see the physician for. First appointment, you always see a physician. And that physician will let you know if you qualify to have the medical cannabis card. They move forward to the next step and get you registered on the website, on the MMU registry. So the same website where you will pull up the physicians, that is where your profile is created to have your license. So your license will be created on there. You will have access to that as well as the physicians and the Florida Department of Highway. So they will also be able to see if you have an active card or not. And those are the steps to receiving a card. You can be approved same day if you are a Florida resident. If you're a seasonal resident, it can take anywhere from 7 to 14 business days for the application to go through thoroughly.
Why is it important to work with a healthcare practitioner or a cannabis consultant?
It is extremely important, first, because you cannot become a patient without seeing a qualified physician. A qualified physician will let you know how the card process is going to work. They'll give you guidance on different strains and cultivars that you can use on a daily basis. And they'll also give you a list of dispensaries that you can go to. Seeing a consultant and a coach you'll get more in depth, more to the root and the science and how to really integrate that. We can break down cultivar, we can go over daily consumption, we can go over activities, how to create coping skills as well, and how to intentionally and mindfully consume cannabis. And that's just something that I do as well. I'll go over pros and cons and all of the do's and don'ts with having the medical marijuana card and how to comply with the state laws and regulations and how to stay protected as a patient.
Nice. That was very, very informative.
You too damn loud, let's go.
Seller.
I hit my mind, I don't care about your lab, let's go. We gotta get inside the house.
Look,
Let's go.
I said I've been on